Everybody, this is the Ayer Conservation Commission meeting for Thursday, May 23rd, 2024. In attendance, we have Jenna Maya, member, George Bacon, member, Jessica Gino, member clerk, Heather Hampson, conservation agent, and myself, Mark Phillips, vice chair.
And acting chair tonight.
And acting chair,
Yeah.
thank you. All right. Can we get approval of the agenda first?
There's no changes.
No changes?
No.
Okay. Motion to approve the agenda as written.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Passes unanimously.
Got it.
Next item on the agenda, approval of the meeting minutes for April 25th, 2024. It's been such a long time.
Yes, we skipped our last meeting.
You did. Any edits, adjustments?
Nope.
No? Yeah, I got just a couple.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
Second page,
Yeah.
second major bullet, second sub-bullet under that, right here.
Oh, okay.
So change transmission, transmission, change it to pressure.
High pressure.
Is it correct, Dan? Two high pressure gas mains underneath, one being a transmission and one being a distribution, correct? Under the bridge? Is that,
I don't think they're both high pressure. I think one's high
Right.
pressure, one's low pressure.
Right.
okay, low pressure being a distribution then, okay.
Yep.
All right, so two gas mains, one transmission, one distribution. I guess that suffices, unless you want to put pressure on the transmission one, then high pressure on the transmission.
You want me to?
You could if you want,
Okay.
so then you can take out the high there, I suppose.
So Heather, I'll send it to you adjusted tonight.
Okay.
And
Actually, I think it was still in that same one. Let me see. I'm sorry, I forgot the second. I thought there was another one. No, I guess, yeah, that's fine.
just that one?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so Heather, today's 23rd, 25th?
23rd.
23rd. Yeah,
Yeah.
23rd, sorry.
So when I go home, I will
Just correct that page.
correct that page.
Okay.
And so you can print it out on the good paper.
Good paper.
Okay.
Thank you.
So can we get approval of the meeting minutes from April 25th, 2024 as edited?
So moved.
For motion for it. Thank you.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
I
Opposed, nay. I didn't say aye. Aye. Approved unanimously. All right, now's the section of our agenda where we look for any public input. Anybody from the public out there like to provide input to us? Questions, comments, observations? Take that as a no.
The moment we take that off our agenda, we'll be swamped.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody will ask us, how come you never asked for, okay. Moving on to the first item, it's a continuation of the public hearing for the notice of intent, DEP file number 100-0488.
Yes, that came in after the
Okay.
agenda was printed.
West Main Street at Nonacoshius Brook, Ayer DPW. Would you folks like to come on up?
Oh, sorry.
All right, so we did a site visit. When was that? It was like,
It was like May 2nd?
yeah, early May, weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Asked some questions, saw some things, looked at some things. Any new information we'd like to discuss?
The only items I know that they need to discuss is the comments from DEP that came in regards to, which they sent a new notice of intent, which I have copies if anyone wants to see it, that just spell out the replication and areas and stuff, a little more detail, and disturbance areas, whatever. And I think I gave you my copies. I can't remember what else the other comments were.
Here, yeah, if you want it. I read through it.
You can have it.
Okay.
I have it in the file.
Yeah, so the first question DEP had was, will compensatory flood storage be provided for every elevation increment where flood storage will be lost? And I think you folks are indicating you're actually increasing the flood storage, right?
Yeah, overall, the flood storage will be increased because the span is increasing. But it's not necessarily by the contour for every single contour interval.
Okay.
So that was just the trade-off there. It's more at the lower contours where there's a gain.
Okay. All right. So at a lower level where you're taking out 10 feet, you're making it 20. So you're gaining 10. So when you net it all, we got a gain of what, 16.7 cubic yards? Okay. All right. And then the one that I thought was sort of odd too then, will the larger span result in larger peak flows downstream during storm events? And could any increase in peak flows adversely impact downstream structures or infrastructure?
Yeah, that was evaluated by Hoyle and Tanner, who did the hydraulic analysis. And their analysis indicated that the river is actually controlled a little bit by receiving backwash from the Nashua River. And so I'm not I'm not a stormwater engineer, but their analysis determined that the increase of the span wouldn't have a negative effect downstream.
Yeah, I guess as I thought about it when I read that question, it's really, if we have such a narrow path right underneath the bridge as it is, right, so it's already holding water back, we open it up, it's going to increase it down. So then the backwash, though, I guess that's what I was thinking then too when I just read this about the backwash, thinking, well, if Nashua is kind of holding it from getting into the river,
Right.
would it potentially create some flooding in that area? But
Yeah, I say as the Nashua picks up, it kind of fills in and comes towards non-equations,
Yeah,
so
fills
it's,
in the
it
floodplain
fills in the
and
floodplain.
backs up toward the
Right.
course,
Yeah.
so it creates a backflow, like
Correct.
in a 100-year event, for example.
Right. So that's how it's controlled, is through that. That's the controlling factor, is the Nashua River.
okay, so it essentially, Nonacoshius is not flooding as quickly as the river, Nashua River itself is then basically, right?
And then
So
there's
it's-
a dam,
gotcha.
right? There's a privately owned
Yeah, the
dam.
plow shop dam
Yep.
upstream, right?
Okay,
Or, yeah.
all right. So by the time this extra flow could possibly do anything, the Nonacoshius, or the Nashua is already
Correct.
holding it back anyways, right? Okay,
Um,
I like that.
What was the name of the company that did the analysis?
Hoyle Tanner, Hoyle.
Okay.
Tanner, Tanner.
I have a copy of the analysis, of their analysis with me if you'd like for your records too.
Yeah, that'd probably be good to
Yeah.
have.
In case anybody ever asks.
Yeah.
Of course, we'll probably just ping Dan anyways, but somebody better keep a copy
Yeah.
somewhere in this
I don't think I
town.
gave this to you last time.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
DPW is not going anywhere.
And then what's number 3? The proposed replacement quantities in section B of the NOI should be updated to include the area of any resource area that will be restored following temporary alteration. The NOI form has been updated and attached. Okay,
And they added the 16.7 cubic yards into that section B as well, so all that's
Okay.
been updated, and I updated the order of conditions too for that.
okay. When we were there, we did look at the replication area and where it was potentially impacted by that billboard column. Like, did you look at that at all? Is that going to be a challenge or what?
Yeah, Chris and I took a closer look at it, and it is actually on the design plans, and it's outside of the replication area, a bit at the edge. It looks like there's still enough space to work around the footer for that sign
Right.
and have that be outside of the replication area. But if it becomes an issue during construction, then we can modify at that time.
Okay, okay. All right. I think that's all the questions I had. George, anything?
No.
Jen?
Nope.
Jazz?
Nope.
The only comment we had too was the invasives on the, within the
Yep.
riverbed to make sure that, the stream bed, to make sure those try to get removed during construction.
Yeah, I think outside of that, we're good, right? Okay, so what are we looking for? Approval of the NOI?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
We have
any
it all.
special conditions if there are any,
Yeah, just,
outside of the invasive removal and the template of our normal ones.
Yeah, I think
Any
that would be it.
additional
right?
ones?
Is there any other conditions anybody's looking for?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I get a motion to approve the NOI for DEP file number 100-0488 for West Main Street at Nonacoshius Brook for DPW, as written with the
so
single
technically
special condition.
approve the issuance of the order of conditions.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the wording. Approve the issuance of the order of conditions, correct?
So moved.
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? All right, approved unanimously.
Right here?
Mm-hmm.
And now
Oh,
with
you're
that,
usually not the first one.
Hmm?
So you're usually not the first
I
one?
know, well, I'm gonna do the second line, so I'm,
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
and now with that, we
Don't
want to
usurp.
close this, correct?
yes, yes.
All right, can I get a motion to close the public hearing for the notice of intent DEP file number 100-0488?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Unanimously. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Hopefully you can get it going soon.
Yeah.
It's a good step.
No more than 2 years.
It's a good
All you
step.
get.
It's a good step. We'll get
Oh,
there.
thank you.
I had somebody ask already, I'm like, I'm like, it's gonna be next construction season. By the time it goes to bid, like, everyone who does construction's already got their projects lined up.
The utility
We have a
companies.
utility issue.
Oh, yeah, the whole
But I won't get
utility.
The
into that.
utility companies are driving us.
Yeah, that too.
We'll
So I can
get
tell you how long the Littleton waited for Verizon to come in to move so they could expand that over
Oh,
Route,
shocking.
over Route two,
Oh,
over
shocking.
over
through it.
495.
Yeah, not to mention any names, but
Yeah.
it's coincidental.
Yeah, I think it was Verizon held them up on that.
Anyways, yeah, but anyway, yeah. Hey, thanks.
All right, have a good night, everyone.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, Dan, we'll catch up.
Yeah,
Have a good more.
you too, have a good weekend. Yeah.
All right, next item on the agenda, request for an extension for the order of conditions for DEP file number 100-0455, 29 Jonathan Drive by the Ayer DPW.
Yeah,
What's going
so, yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. As you can see, the number is
Vice Chair.
0455. It's been a little while.
Yeah.
And we're excited to finally get this project going. So, I don't know if some of you recall the project. It's basically a connection, a water main expansion from the end of Pleasant Street Extension to Jonathan Drive. So we're gonna create a big loop in the northwest portion of town. Right now, it's basically a long dead end from Park Street at times, all in that whole northwest portion of town. The order of conditions expires June 1st, 2020, or, excuse me, it was issued June 1st, 2021, so it would expire June 1st, 2024. So, we're looking to extend that, and we're requesting 2 years, but we're actually preparing to bid the project. We're getting that all ramped up now. And basically what has slowed us down is the project, if you recall, requires 3 easements. One from a residential lot, which was a pretty easy one to obtain. National Grid high-tension power lines, which actually wasn't too bad to obtain. But the hardest one was DCR, Nashua River Rail Trail. We have to go under there with a directional drill. And so the process has basically taken us 1.5 to 2 years to get that easement. You know, we've probably spent almost a year just waiting. DCR has major issues over there with personnel and staff, just waiting to deal with them and get responses on the easement. So finally, we're at the point where basically we'll be signing the select board has signed the easement document, and DCR will be signing it within probably the next week. And so then we're good with all our easements and ready to start constructing. So looking back at permitting, there was the order of conditions we have, which we're requesting to extend. Also, MESA, Mass Endangered Species Act, we had a no-take determination for that, which is good for 5 years, so that's still very valid. And also MIPA, we did have an ENF for this project, and that was in February of 2021, but we reached out to them to make sure that's still valid, and yes, it is. It's if you're kind of dormant for more than 5 years.
Okay.
And dormancy, you know, as long as you are still actively pursuing easements and doing that type of work, you're not dormant anyway. So,
Okay.
so that permit, everything is still valid. So that's kind of in a nutshell as to why 0455 has been on the back burner. We've been waiting for this day. So.
I was wondering about this one.
Yeah.
When I read it, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, they're finally done. I was
Yeah,
like,
right.
oh no, it's an extension.
Probably won't take long to construct, but yeah, it's just
Yeah.
the hurdle, and you have to go to the state legislature for Article 97. You get a special act which describes exactly what you have to do with working with DCAM and DCR and
Was that under
appraisals and et cetera. So it takes a while.
Article 97?
It is, yeah, Article 97 disposition. And this was, I guess there's some new regulations related to Article 97 disposition, which have occurred after we went through this process, which I don't know much about it, but it's supposedly more stringent, or there's more environmental justice analysis involved, et cetera, so.
Who goes to the state legislature? Who?
Who?
Yeah.
So
Just-
our
just
state rep,
curious.
so it goes through Jamie Eldridge, he actually sponsors the bill, yeah, so it went through him
Okay.
a while ago, 2022, I want to say that went through. But then it took us, a year and a half to 2 years with DCAM and DCR. DCAM's pretty good, DCR was very slow.
So you said you're going out to bid now?
Yeah, we got the bid pretty much ready to head out, so.
How long do you
construct
expect
this
it to
year.
be constructed? Like,
How long will it take?
from a nice
um,
start to whatever? Yeah.
Probably take, say, a month, maybe less. The directional drill should be quick, and then on each end, they have to open excavate and tie it in, and they obviously got to set up erosion control and get that checked and everything. So, I'd say 2 or 3 weeks, maybe.
Okay.
We give them a little longer in case there's some issues, but.
And remind me again, so they'll set up in Jonathan Drive for the first site and then
Yeah.
essentially to the bike path and
So-
set up there?
So there's an entry and exit pit. Yeah, the entry pit, so where the drill's gonna go in, is on Jonathan Drive.
Yeah.
And then the exit pit will be it's over in an easement in a landscape area in between 2 houses in the new Pleasant Street extension. So
Oh, it'll be
through
that far. Okay, that's what I was wondering.
All the way under the power
Oh.
lines and everything.
Okay, so there's nothing that basically you really need to
Yeah, so you open up in the road in Jonathan Drive. And then you open up
revegetate
in
or
that-
anything, so. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I
nice.
mean, we'll loam and seed where we open up in that easement.
Yeah.
Over in Pleasant Street extension, but, yeah.
Cool.
So, exciting. Yeah, it's very similar to the Wright Road project we did, to Loop Wright Road
Yeah.
several years ago. Sandy Pond Road, yeah.
Okay. We good? Questions?
Should we do a site walk?
It is a nice walk.
Wildlife
And good to get
habitat
the rail trail.
impact. Yeah.
Speaking of the rail trail, did they ever fix that sinkhole in the rail trail? Like,
I think so. Yeah.
I haven't been on
I
it
think the
since.
DCR, yeah.
They did work on
People
it
usually
last
get
year. They did a
wind
lot
of
of
it.
work on it last year.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, can I get a motion to extend the order of the conditions, DEP file 100-0455 for 29 Jonathan Drive for the DPW
For 2 years.
for 2 years?
Expiring June 1st, 2026.
6. Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. All right, passes unanimously.
I'll print your names. I didn't realize
I
I
agree.
didn't have it. I don't use that form
Thanks so
very
much,
often.
yeah, thanks.
So,
I'm
when you
still
have
not
easements
doing the
on
top.
private property, that's what you just loam over, whatever you do. Okay. I'm planting trees next to our easement, but I won't plant them in the easement.
Oh, right. Yeah, so
And you can't plant in.
Yeah, don't plant it on
You
the
can't do it in the.
So leave it
Yeah,
as-
we have the right to go in there and do our
Sure.
maintenance
Okay.
and whatever, but we'll restore it to
That's nice
the
of you.
surrounding
Thanks.
area. Well, it'll work well with the neighbors.
You could just say like, no, sorry.
Yeah, just put stone down, it's nothing. Okay.
Cool.
While you're here,
Yeah.
if the, board's been put back in, Balch Dam,
Yeah, they go in and they go
out in November,
in back
in-
and whatever they.
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah, because we'd
I
mentioned it about, we had a meeting, I'm like, oh yeah, we gotta do that, and I went through the emails, I'm like, okay, there it is, yeah.
Yeah,
just checking.
Oh, was
so
it?
that's good to go.
Sorry, I didn't
Yeah.
catch it.
The board's in, Balch Dam,
The spillway.
Oh,
yeah.
the
okay.
spillway, East Main Street spillway,
Okay.
yeah. They go out and then they go in, and then they go out.
They go back in, and then they go.
They go out with the tide.
North and
Yeah.
over and over. Oh, thank you. Yeah,
We should
you're
put
right.
boards on East West Main Street. Good boards. Boards in there, control that flow.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, everybody. All right, have a good long weekend.
Have a great weekend.
See you tomorrow.
I guess-
Heather.
Yes, I'll bring these for you tomorrow too, since I'm gonna
Okay.
see you.
Yeah, great.
That'll work.
All right, with that, move on to the next part of the agenda. Conservation Office updates.
So, I said earlier, so we finally got our Trailblazers in. So if you wanna see them, I gotta get nails for them. I don't know, I emailed the group to see when everyone's, availability is to go out and install them. I figured if we could have a larger group of people, it'd be easier, because everyone could take a trail.
Yeah.
And break up in like groups of 2 or 4 or whatever, and family people with it, and everyone take a trail, and we could just get it done faster. I have only 25 of the white, because the white trail just is the what goes off of Oak Ridge. I don't even think we're gonna need 25, but I figured it's easier to have extra. And then 50 of the blue blue and yellow for the other the loop trail and the habitat trail. So those would obviously take more. If we need to get more, then we can always do more. So I haven't heard anything yet on that. So we'll schedule that hopefully in the next week or so. Hopefully it's not too buggy.
We're gonna nail them in?
Yeah, we're gonna nail 'em. I gotta get
We okay
nails.
with that?
What?
We okay with nailing?
Yeah.
Okay, what kind of nails you need?
I was gonna go to Moore's and see what they had.
Like,
Unless you have nails, like does somebody have nails they want to.
I have a lot of nails, but I'm just kind of wondering, you can't probably, or probably shouldn't be using galvanized nails, I suppose, right?
I have no idea. I don't know. I'm like, do you want to take one of these? Do you actually have the right size?
Probably do. Sure.
Because I was gonna take one down so I could buy nails, so we can get those, and then
Galvanized wouldn't rust.
Stainless
but-
steel.
Yeah.
I tried figuring out what
Should be stainless
to-
steel.
I would assume
Google says
stainless.
good, yeah.
Yeah, I would say
But
stainless.
I don't know, would aluminum be bad too? Does it say, Jen, like,
It just says stainless steel is a rust-proof material that would be much better for your tree in the long run,
okay,
to reduce the risk of rust and corrosion that can harm your tree.
roofing nail might be a little thicker than that.
Yeah.
It'd be close, but I don't think I'd have enough 2-inch roofing nails.
Yeah, because obviously we're gonna want to
Yeah.
put them kind
If
of
you
loose
get-
out so the tree could.
If you get a
grow.
big thing of nails, they're cheap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
It says aluminum as well.
not if it's stainless steel.
Well, I can get aluminum.
Yeah,
If you get
as well.
aluminum, then yeah, you'd be okay.
Any other rust-proof nail or screw.
Yeah.
Would aluminum hold up?
Oh, you know what I think I have
do
a
you want me to ask
whole
Google?
bunch of cedar shake ones that I have vinyl siding that I don't need cedar shake, but I have them. I think they're like 1.5 or 2 inch long.
All right. Well, you look and see what you
Yeah,
have.
let me take a look and see what I got
Yeah.
tonight. I'll
Yeah,
text
and
you.
because I can go to Moore's next, because if I'm just gonna go to Moore's, I can do that anytime.
How many
and pick
signs
them
you
up.
got in total?
125, and there's 2
Okay.
holes in each one, but I don't think we need to do both. I think just one is gonna be suffice.
Okay, so at least 125, but 250. Okay,
I have roofing nails.
yeah.
And they're
Just think if you
stainless
try to nail
steel.
aluminum into an oak tree, that's gonna give,
Yeah, so,
Oh.
yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You'll quickly find out.
Yeah, so.
Well, you can go out and do some testing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, go out and do some testing. And
Does
I-
this work?
I took them outside too to see like how they looked under the sun.
It does say that aluminum nails can become difficult to remove after a few years. So if
So-
we're concerned about that, then maybe
Stainless
steel's the way to go.
Do we want to remove them?
Maybe we should do it right the first time.
Well, Volunteers, you never know. No, just probably not.
Never know.
But
Yeah.
what if we, I don't know.
Just have to change, we wouldn't change the colors of the trails.
We
so.
wouldn't reroute trails or anything.
No, I mean, if we ever created new ones, we would just recolor coordinate them.
Yeah.
Just do different colors.
Okay.
It's something
So
to keep in
preferably
mind.
stainless steel, but like I said,
Yeah,
that can be a
it
little
could be
cha-ching,
Yeah, we'll see how
especially when you
expensive
need
it-
250.
Yeah,
It's worth a walk over to Moore's at least to find out how much they might be.
yeah, and like in worst case too, I can always go over there.
Jen, you
Aubuchon's
can
too,
probably-
so like we don't have two
You
hardware
could probably
stores
shop
in
Moore's
town.
right now for us. 250 2-inch
I don't know what kind of online presence they have.
2-inch nails?
6 penny.
Yeah, I would say 2 inch, because
They're
you're gonna
kinda
want them to
narrow,
stick
right?
out some,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
so the tree can grow.
And it needs to have
Yeah.
a head, like it.
Oh.
You know
Yeah,
what I
you want a
Yeah.
head, not a finishing nail.
Yep.
2-inch.
Yeah, I think you'd want, because you got to get through the bark at least. That's probably
Yeah,
at least
and you-
half
and you-
inch,
and
maybe
you're gonna want-
three-quarter.
You're gonna want something that sticks out, you don't wanna put it too close to the tree, so the tree can grow. So you're nailing the blaze into the tree.
Yeah.
You don't wanna do it flush with the tree, because you want the tree to be able to grow.
And not grow around it.
And not grow around it.
Oh, well, then you're going to need probably, I would say 3-inch then.
Morris does not have a great online presence for nail selection, so you'll have to.
Yeah, I
Okay.
would think so, I know they do for their rental.
Then,
Then.
Aubuchon, which is a little more locally owned than Home Depot.
There you go.
Well, yeah, Aubuchon's very cool. But so, and then I went out on last Friday to take a look at the native plantings we had done over at Peroni Park to see how if they were taking, and they are, there's little green leaves and stuff sprouting up on them.
Okay.
And I spent about an hour, a little over an hour, pulling knotweed, because it had just overtaken again.
Yeah.
And I'll be going out again tomorrow for another hour or two and pull more knotweed. Because it's my little experiment to see if I can ratify it just by, or not, I'm not going to ratify it in 1 year, but if I can make a difference visible from 1 year to the next year by just hand pulling, we're going to see. Nobody thinks so. I've never heard anything saying that you can't, but we're going to try.
What are you doing when you're pulling it?
Putting
Bagging
it in the
it?
back of my car and throwing it in the dumpster at my apartment.
Okay.
Because then I know it's not going to end up in somebody's yard
Yeah.
in a mulch pile.
Cool.
And I'm vacuumed my car out on that Saturday, so it's fine. I don't care.
Heather, the knotweed killer.
Yes, I can't use weed killer there, so we're working on that. So that's a fun little project. Tuesday, the planning board will be finally hearing the Stratton Hill subdivision project.
Next Tuesday?
Yep, on Tuesday, the 28th. So, I submitted comments to the planning board and Attorney Collins in
Have you-
regards to that project.
You seen plans?
I have seen plans, and I do have, the plans are available online on the planning board's website, if you guys want to take a look at them. All the development is south of the power lines, I can't remember how many lots. 2 stormwater basins, the existing one, and then a new one on the Long Pond side. The only work inside the buffer is the work for those 2 stormwater basins. Everything else is outside.
What about the slope down to Long Pond?
So you have the stormwater basin, and then.
They are putting one in.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the comments that I submitted to them were more or less in regards to our peer review that we had done for the original conservation analysis. One, I did in no particular order, but one of the comments was, I feel, and because it is an OSRD, and part of the OSRD requirements is a conservation analysis should be done. So I feel a new conservation analysis should be done with a new design plan, because it's completely different and it's putting more impact south of the power lines. It's more dense, so that's one comment. I did mention it to the town planner. He more or less agrees, but what the planning board decides to do, that's them, but that comment was made. And then everything else in regards to what was in our conservation recommendation and in the peer review got put in there in regards to the impact to Long Pond, alternatives for stormwater as far as rain gardens on properties.
Mhm.
They are requesting waivers for the streetlights, and I think sidewalk, which was in our recommendation as well, to only have sidewalk on one side and not to have streetlights. So they are requesting waivers for those. So they did listen to those recommendations for the most part, so we'll just see how it goes. But that's starting Tuesday, and that's gonna be a very long meeting. Jess was nice enough to go to the last planning board meeting in regards to 91 Groton Harvard Road, which is where the crane had fallen off into, and that'll be continued on Tuesday as well. And they will be scheduling a site visit for that at that day, because they have not scheduled a site visit yet.
Going back to Stratton Hill.
Yes, sir.
What did we say on curbs, or what was our recommendation on curbs?
Cape Cod curb.
Okay.
So turtles can get up and over if they need to.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I was messing with one the other day that was having a challenge on a granite, so.
Yeah, no, they had Cape Cod curbs on those.
And
I
then
didn't look at the plans, I had to double check those.
you said wanted to or did request the idea of doing another.
Conservation analysis, yes.
However, didn't we state in the recommendation that we provided that our recommendation was if you were to keep it south of the power lines, that we were in a really good space? So I guess I would just check that language to make sure we're not contradicting
It did
ourselves.
state that, but the recommendation also stated that the conservation analysis submitted was not proper because it used old data.
True. I do remember that.
So it wasn't a point to make them redo that data because, it's a lot of development in a smaller section now. I don't think it needs to be the full-scale analysis, but I think something should be done on it. I don't know what. We'll see what the planning board does with that information. Just because you are now taking the same amount of lots for the most part and moving it all south of the power lines. I don't know what that impact would be on that property and what it could do to Long Pond, though I think we toyed around, I don't know if it was one of the site visits or one of the times they were before us, asking them about monitoring wells in the area for Long Pond, and I think Attorney Collins said something about they might be able, if it was a condition, they would entertain that, so I don't know if we could do something like that to ensure that the Long Pond doesn't have any issues going forward with this development.
Okay.
How much of the impact on that slope down to Long Pond will the second basin have?
I don't know, I didn't look, because there's still, there's issues with that first basin.
Yeah.
With the stormwater report, because they didn't do any analysis, they said this is gonna be it, but that thing's not functioning now. So there's just a lot of questions in the stormwater as it is now.
What do you mean by what sort of impact? I do remember we walked down into the woods when we went on that site walk.
Well,
Yeah, they need more
yeah,
test
and it
holes.
has a really steep drop off,
Yeah.
depending where it is.
Mhm.
And then, so you'd have stormwater basin way down there and clearing.
Yeah, which when they'd have to do another site walk for
Yeah.
that with everything marked out.
Yeah.
So when they do schedule that, which I don't anticipate being anytime soon, but if they do, I'll make sure and see if they would allow, obviously myself or any commission members if they wanted to go on that as well.
Yeah, because there wasn't any house lots up the east side, right?
No,
It
there's
was just
still, that was part of their
basically the
MEPA
basin at the
permit.
bottom that's there,
Mm-hmm,
then up the hill, and then another basin
mm-hmm.
kind of on that side. And that was really about all there
That's it,
was, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. They're duplexes, or
They're all duplexes.
Okay. See, I'm not opposed to duplexes in a new neighborhood.
Yeah, and then one of the other comments was in regards to, we obviously need to know what's gonna happen with the land north of the power lines, and if there's gonna be any sort of restoration plan for that, because obviously it was previously disturbed, and what we're gonna do with that. I talked to the town planner on that, and we were toying around with ideas, and he said, they've taken the gravel road out, and I said, no, if we could keep that road in, maybe make it smaller, then I would have an ADA almost compliant trail, which would
Right.
open us up, depending on who takes the property, for more grants as far as trail grants, for any sort of projects out there.
Yep.
So I wanna keep that in as an accessible, almost
Yeah.
trail up there.
And
Yeah.
actually, that's.
It would just make it
it's not that-
narrower.
it isn't that wide as it is, and that is
No.
gonna grow over.
But all they would need to do, I mean, did you see what they did at the Sandy Pond School, the schoolhouse there?
No.
For the handicap, it wasn't much, it wasn't pea
Yeah.
gravel, but basically it was you know, that kind
Yeah.
of crusher run, like really fine
Mhm.
kind of stuff, such that a wheelchair can get right up in there, you know,
Yeah.
so that was nice.
I think the restoration plan's great, and also though,
Yeah.
when you go up to the power lines and then you go off towards Long Pond,
Mhm.
people have been dumping a lot of crap down.
Yeah, no, so
along
that's,
there.
that's something
That
that's
needs
gonna need to
to
be
be-
discussed going through the
Yeah.
project is, because they're gonna say, well, it's already grown up, but like, but that's fine, it's from what you cut that's grown. We need to make sure, and obviously, and I just learned this from going on the,
Yeah.
well, we had our meeting for the municipal conservation
Yeah.
professionals, last week, yeah. Because they have a big project in Stowe. We're not gonna be able to do invasives up there, because it's,
Yeah, but,
you can't rectify it. You can try to maintain it, but what is they cleared it all. And when I say restoration plan, the restoration plan is more or less like, okay, you have trees growing in there,
Yeah.
well, let's get some shrubs in, let's get some natives in there, let's do like a planting plan as far as a restoration, because you did clear it. Now, it has rewild some, but it's still not what you did.
Right.
And to do some more native planting in there will help
but we do
ratify
want
some
them
of
to
the.
pull like the tires and.
Oh, yeah, the junk that's up
the
there,
junk,
yeah.
that's what I'm.
Yeah,
more concerned
and
with.
it was in our, in our recommendation and in the peer review, the dirt pile that's out there is being used for turtle nesting. So obviously we can't pull that out.
No, we
But
won't,
the
yeah.
other issue with all that is too, as part of their NEPA permit, whatever it is, they're supposed to do turtle nesting area
Yeah,
in, I think they're supposed to put one in Ayer, but I don't know with the not doing work, so there's all these little questions that then fall in, if they still need to do these things.
would seem to be, if there's already an area being used by the turtles.
Yeah, so it's one of those, there's just these questions that still need to
Based
get
on what-
answered, because
yeah.
everything's based on the old plan as far as permits go, and now
Yeah.
that's not. So what do we still need to get done, that need to get
Yeah.
worked out? So all those questions have been asked.
Definitely
and
don't
will be
want
asked
to,
during the meetings.
definitely don't want to disturb a hill. in
No,
order to
no,
make
that
it
hill would
better
have to
for the
stay,
turtles that are
but
already
it's just a
using
matter
it.
of, yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to see some sort of restoration plan too for up there.
Yeah,
But again, we don't know who's taking it, so that's the other question on that.
yeah. But nothing's been.
Nothing's been
moved
told.
forward on that.
No.
Well, this has been waiting for. them
We've been
to-
waiting for a long time on this, so
Yeah,
it's finally happening on Tuesday. It's the last item on the agenda, so if anyone's interested in going, probably won't be till closer to 8 o'clock.
so I also learned something, the CBA, which has been misbehaving lately, had a remedial refresher course on on everything with town council, Amy Questle, at our
Mhm.
last meeting. And we don't have to post anything, if 3 or more of us want to go to a planning board meeting,
Mm-hmm.
as long as we're not sitting together
Yeah.
and potentially deliberating, we don't have to do any posting or
Yeah,
anything.
I said I never did.
Yeah. So as many of us can go without worrying about it. We
Yeah.
just have to be unfriendly to each other.
Mhm.
It's fine.
Yeah,
Two of you can be
easy.
friendly, but
different.
no more
Two
than
of us could be friendly, but
But yeah, so that there's
Okay,
quite a bit on
friendly,
that
2 at a
agenda on
time.
Tuesday, so
yeah.
it is last. So I would say if you didn't want to get there right at 6:15, you didn't get there till 7:30, 8 o'clock. I don't think you're going to miss anything.
Here, right?
It's going to be here. Yeah, I believe they are both. It's one other item. I haven't been told this. I've heard through the rumor mill that the request is going to be that all town commission boards and committee whatever go to hybrid meetings. So
Why?
to more availability for people to join in, I guess.
Oh,
I haven't been formally
so
asked
we
that.
still have to be here, but it has to be Zoomed or something?
No, you don't. I mean, Will, we don't.
Yeah.
You can still do. If you want to come, you can still be on Zoom. Like,
Or I could stay at home.
But then we would be deprived of your visit.
presence.
You wouldn't be able to sign.
It's
Oh, that's true.
yeah, you
Yeah.
can't sign. So
My
it's
stamp though.
it's what so we'd be in person, but like obviously circumstances happen, and it's more or less for the public to have them Zoom. I look at it and go, oh, that'd be great for the summer because I don't always have someone to watch my kids Thursdays. But that I haven't formally been given that request, but I wanted to let you all know that may be coming. That we might.
We might have more public input.
Yeah, we might actually get public input for once if we had them via Zoom. So
That'd be cool.
have hybrid meetings going forward. So, but that I
Interesting.
think be for starting in July. And just so you know, the next, Tuesday, Water and Wetlands will be out doing their surveying of the 3 ponds and treating of Flanagan Pond. The sonar around Flanagan Pond, because they're not doing the other ones. That is Tuesday.
That was for FAMWOR, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if anyone checked your emails, but Alan sent a invite to everybody for a canoeing adventure on the Nashua River through the Devons portion on Saturday, June 8th.
Yep.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think
I think you
4
said
can
there's
go, and if anybody had any,
2 canoes, 4 spots, basically, right?
yeah, if anybody had their own, they could always bring it to that.
And add to it.
That's for looking for a boat launch?
No,
somewhere?
it's not. It's for his Devon's whatever committee. The committee looking at taking the land, possibly if we get the land back,
Oh,
to show what that section looks like.
okay.
Because you can't tell, all right? So you drive by Devon's and you see the river that's down there, but you miss majority of it. So this
Sure.
is just to get you an idea of what it looks like. And then you can really see the Oxbow property from the river more or less than you can from walking the road. So that's for that.
Yeah, I think you said it to put it on the Shirley side, if I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
mistaken.
the only place you can put in. We don't
And
have a
then
launch in
you'd
here.
head
Oh,
it downriver?
I misread it then. So I misread I misread it as looking for a place to create a launching, but
No.
no. Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately,
This is
because
what happens when you skim.
yeah, because I mean I know Joanne did all that work looking for
Yeah.
a launch before,
Yeah.
and they're just the only plausible place to put one in Ayer is over on Fitchburg Road side, and it's too steep from there,
Yeah.
and it's so close to the one in Shirley at the 2A anyway. At that point, it's not worth doing all the work when you already have one. Like, why would you just go across the river and they'd say you have one in Ayer? It's
Yeah.
right there. And then everything else happens to be in Devon, so then there's that.
We could do a put in at Nonacotius and go right down to the Nashua
Through
River.
the wetlands?
No, put in at the river, where at the Nonacotius Brook. Sorry.
Yeah, but doesn't that, didn't they say that then flows to wetlands and then flows into the Nashua, right?
In the wetlands, there are giant
All I know
snappers.
is that the Neshoba is pushing it back, holding it back.
Yeah, it's a giant wetland mixer too. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, we're in the Nashua watershed, watershed, but I have no place to put it in, and I live in Pepperell, and it's like 17. And I don't have a canoe, so, but it's fine.
Speaking of Nashua River Watershed Association, did you get my?
I did, and I responded to Beth,
Okay.
and I sent her the email that I sent her back in February. Asking her if it was appropriate to use the funds for signage for Pine Meadow, and if not, to let me know, and then, because I don't know what else we would do with it.
Kiosks, signage or
Yeah,
that would
but I
be-
mean, if I can't use it for anything
Yeah,
at
I
Pine
know.
Meadow, then it's no,
Right.
I don't have any other project that I can think of that I could use it for at this point, right, at this moment. So better to give it to somebody who has a
Yeah.
project I need to.
So you sent that in February?
I said it in February, and I said it to her again today.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, I did. And I copied you on that email too in February, so. And I copied you on this one today too, so. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, actually, yeah, we did have the municipal conservation professionals, our meeting last week in Stowe. And I got to do vernal pool training again, which was always fun. And invasive species removal / training, because they in Stowe have bought a golf course. The town has purchased one of the golf courses in town, so they're trying to do a whole restoration plan for it, and recreation plan for that project. They spent $20,000 in CPA funds on an invasive species plan. That plan does not include any removal. It was just a plan on what to do with them, which is more or less just keep them where they are and don't let them spread, because you can't manage them. So, but we had to do that, which was nice. It's a nice section of town. It's always nice to meet with the other agents as well. So
what are they going to do?
So it's going to be a 10-year, overall 10-year project every 3. So They bought, so it's two golf courses, a north course and a south course. The south course is staying under private ownership. The town has purchased the north course. There's going to be a residential subdivision in one portion. There's going to be a wetland restoration area in another portion, which is an old driving range that they're going to restore the wetlands back and do a whole restoration plan. And the rest of it's going to go into walking trails and like park with soccer fields or tennis courts or whatever. So it's a mix of open space and recreational space.
I'm sorry, I should have been more clear.
Oh, sorry.
What I was wondering, what are they going to do with the invasives? So, did they say, do they have a plan? Are they gonna hand pull? Or are they going to?
So
Yeah,
I found
like-
out, so certain ones you have to hand pull. So cutting bittersweet actually makes it grow more.
Okay, I have a sore shoulder because I was pulling some out by the roots.
Yeah.
Those things don't like to let go.
No, they don't. They said you have to get them when they're really small. You shouldn't be pulling them once they have berries, because the berries will fall off. And the berries and seeds off of bittersweet and I can't remember the other one they did, bayberry? Honeysuckle? I don't know. I can't remember which one it was. Actually can stay in the ground for 7 years. So even if you've taken it and hand pulled it all off, like 4 years will go by and new ones will sprout. And I'm like, oh, that's promising. So you can hand pull, but it has to be when the vines are small. Other than that, and if you cut, you have to be careful because when you cut, it does actually end up. It's like, those evil dragons. You cut one head off, two grow in its place. It's that you break it and it will sprout. So it's a never-ending cutting.
Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yeah.
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 But they had a lot of honeysuckle there.
They're sort
Bittersweet
of.
and I think it's bayberry.
The green is very sweet looking, but their presence is sort of bitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honeysuckle's bad too, right?
Yeah. And what?
Yeah.
Honeysuckle's bad too?
Honeysuckle. Yeah. This is the non-native honeysuckle. Oh, then in multifloral rose was the other one.
Yeah,
Multifloral rose.
rose, yeah.
It's a pretty little white flower.
Yeah, with the bittersweet, like if you're able to get like a halfway decent size,
They.
like a 1/4 inch or so, and like I'll usually take it and like wrap it around my arm and
Oh,
pull it all up
There's
that way to get the orange out.
a
But yeah, you can't do it just by hand. You gotta.
There's a
you gotta really get a
device,
good one.
they said it's called a polar bear, pull, something like that you can buy that will actually, you can pull bigger hunks out. I don't know what it looks like. I should probably Google it and see if I can find one and how much it costs and see if we can.
Polar pool?
What is it? Polar bear, something like, I heard polar bear, but something like that. And so does your library have it? Maybe you can rent it. Get the library to have it and rent it out.
Yeah.
But you can use that and that'll
Jen,
pull
are
it
you
out.
looking?
Polar bear.
Polar bear.
P-U-L-L-E-R.
There we go, polar bear.
Tree puller.
That you can get those. So if I can find something like that and it's
There's
not.
small ones for invasives.
Tree
Yeah.
and invasive tree puller.
Mm-hmm.
$29.99. Your
How
local
big is
hardware
it?
store.
Well, yeah, this one seems more tree-like, but
Because it can get more of the roots and it's easier to pull them out. They said when it gets bigger.
website's not.
See, I heard
super-
polar bear. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, this might be a bit overkill, but anyway.
Yeah, so
But polar bear did its function because it clicked polar bear in your head and you remembered
I
something.
remembered it. Yeah, this is how my brain works. So, yeah, there's devices you can get to try to pull them, and if it's
Yeah.
something like that maybe I can convince the library to be like, hey, those libraries that rent out tools, rent some of that like that out,
Yeah.
borrow that out. People can get rid of invasives in their yards.
Yeah, but then what they do, we'd have to give good guidance on what to do with the.
Yeah, they take the transfer station and it becomes the town's mulch that
And that's
they provide.
I do need to. I have a meeting with Dan tomorrow in regards to the stormwater utility fund about our public outreach. We're going to have a meeting, I think, sometime next month. Public forum on that. I can't remember when it is. And then video that we need to do. So I'm meeting with him on that. So I'm going to ask him about, if we can have a designated pile people to put invasives in that just going to get burned or thrown in a dumpster
That'd be
or
great.
somewhere, so we're not getting put in the mulch piles.
Yep.
And then we have a meeting next week with a Zoom call with beaver solutions in regards to some of the beaver issues in town, so we can start getting a game plan on that. And I'm gonna see if, I don't know if they do it or not, or if they know someone that does, that may be beneficial sometime in the next few months to do a similar like public forum, like outreach on beavers for people in town. I don't know if that would be beneficial for people and what they can do, protect their own property, what they do if they see one, what's illegal and what's not. I don't know if that'd be beneficial or not.
You know what would be cool if we did that? Is to get Jane Newhouse from Newhouse Wildlife Rehab
Oh, yes,
in
yeah.
Chelmsford. They have a
They have a beaver.
big beaver that came in when it was just a week or so
Was
old.
that the one that was stealing the rodent treats out of the barrel? The
Yeah.
video?
Yeah, Nibby. But they've now got, I think, a petition in with Mass Wildlife to, because they don't think she's releasable now,
Yeah, I mean, if
to
not,
be their public education
Could she
beaver.
come in and bring the beaver with her?
But
If
they do
not-
go to- Yeah.
yeah, so we could either try to do something like that, or I could always mention something like that to Luke over at the library to
Yeah.
have some sort of.
But that could get more people interested too.
Yeah, so we try to do something like that. See, I don't know, because I know Sunflower Court was having an issue with damming flooding one of the trails there, and someone asked, oh, what can we do? So I don't know if it'd be beneficial if we had something like that the public could come to and ask questions on what they can do if they have beavers on their property or not.
Yeah, just protect things, but
I hate to like have them come and like have nobody show up, so I don't
Yeah.
know what if people would find that beneficial or not.
there are a lot of
You have a
people
pet
on their
beaver.
Facebook page.
What?
I will, if you have a pet beaver, I will come. I've never seen a beaver up close. So that'd be cool.
She's very sweet. They're very social,
Yeah.
so they need to be in their family,
Hmm.
you know, for socialization. Because she came in as a little orphan,
That must be a little
they,
stir crazy then for her.
they couldn't keep her isolated from people. But they did try to bring in another orphaned beaver that turned out to also be female, that they got from a Rhode Island shelter, to see if the two would bond and then they could be more beavery.
Yeah.
And they hated each other.
Ugh.
And then the other one from Rhode Island escaped.
Oh, no.
So she hated Nibby so much.
Planet of the Beavers.
What is
Yeah.
the name of the wild? The
Newhouse,
Newhouse.
Newhouse.
Mhm.
They also have Stanley, their groundhog, educational groundhog,
Yeah.
that came in with a seizure disorder, so he can't be released into the wild. So he's now been neutered and living the life.
Yeah, their Facebook page is fun.
Yeah. Baby beaver. I think that was Nibby when she was a baby.
a wee beaver.
Yeah. She took her off the other day to swim in a pond somewhere in conservation land, and people were like, "Well, how do you get her out of the pond?" And you know, she just goes following the.
Yeah, the videos they post, like she
fine.
like takes sticks or whatever to close them and dams like the hallway,
Yeah.
because that's what beavers want to do. They
It's
want to
drafty in
dam.
here.
So yeah, so I'll ask Beaver Solutions and see if it's something that they do. If it is, maybe we can kind of pair it off with see
Well,
if they can do something like that
and
together.
they've worked together before. I
Yeah,
think.
and see if we can get something like
Yeah.
that together, and maybe more people would come if they knew a real life beaver would be there. They could,
Yeah.
see. Might be a
I
fun
bet we
summer
could.
activity.
Yeah. And maybe we could also then pair it with like how to be a responsible pond abutter.
Yeah, well, we're working on that. I was gonna,
Yeah.
so I was working on what we to do for the new Facebook post for the commission, and
Yeah.
I was gonna do one on mowing of lawns and keeping a hedgerow by the pond to be a responsible pond owner. I was gonna work on doing
Yeah.
something like that because we are in lawn mowing season now, right?
Yeah.
So people,
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
even though it's still May, you're not supposed to mow your lawn in May.
No May.
Although
Ours is a jungle.
Yeah, there's quite a few that are.
I did see something the other day that said that No Mow May works really, it started in England
Yeah.
and it works really great over there, but it's not as effective over on this side of the Atlantic.
Makes sense.
It's-
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but,
Yeah.
and then we're going to look to do something like that, and then, and then as part of the, here's the last one, part of the summer newsletter from the town clerk's office, I'm gonna be writing something for that in regards to, or asking for information on, importance of native species. So I think I'll do something like that, and then I'll put something in there for the Conservation Commission, along with the Facebook post on how to be responsible pond, property owners and lawn owners for that, because it's gonna I'm sure, I don't think the town's done it yet, I don't think Dan's posted it, or maybe it has never gone away, the, water restrictions,
Mhm.
so.
Yeah.
We're gonna have them again
It's, those are never gonna go away.
because of the treatment.
It's not because of treatment. Every town has water restrictions. It's just,
Yes,
we have water now. Doesn't mean we're gonna have water 20 years from now. It's restricted now.
Yeah, they've been here since I moved here.
Yeah, most towns just have them. It doesn't matter. If there's a drought, if it's a drought, it's more restrictive, but they just do water restrictions as a whole as a standard. I think it's if you look under the states, under DEP, I think they make that as basically as a recommendation that every town should have water restrictions and odd and even.
It'd be great if people followed them.
It'd be great if people followed them. Or the people did what I do and just keep water pitchers outside for when it rains so I can plants, or take my
Yeah.
water from my dehumidifier in the basement and water my plants with that.
I have done that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
But ours is hosed out or automatically.
Yeah,
so-
mine's
You know
just.
what to do?
Hmm?
That's what I did. So I took that hose or that pipe that comes out.
Yeah.
I put a hose tap on it, and I run that, and I water my peony in the front of the house. I have a hose, like a 100-foot hose that runs out and just waters the peony all the time.
There's little ways you can, do it to try to conserve water. It's not overly hard, so.
When we had that huge drought a few years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, I got into the habit, I had a big pot in my sink, so except for soapy water, everything else I took and watered my viburnum.
Yep.
But did you have a bucket in your shower? Because that's true commitment.
But that's soapy water.
Not necessarily. Like when you first turn the water on, especially to
that's
heat it
true.
up and everything.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't.
Waiting for it to heat up.
Grew up in California during drought years, so that's what we had to do.
Oh, yeah.
We were showered with buckets.
It does make sense, though.
Mm.
So when it got soapy, you didn't,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Or you just use it to flush the toilet or whatever, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The best is when me and my sister went to Mammoth Caves in Kentucky. They had a little sand glass timer in the showers because they wanted you to limit your showers to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Which me and my sister were just like, there's no way we can do that, but we want to try, and we really wanted them to sell those in like a gift
Yeah.
shop because I'm like, that'd just be so much fun to just have in your bathroom to try to limit your shower to 3 minutes.
But you could, when that bad drought, it was like go in and get all wet and then turn the water off and then soap everything up and then turn it on.
I just yell at the kids
That's so
constantly
close.
saying, if my shower takes 5 minutes, yours shouldn't take more.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting a little off.
we have
topic.
to, that's all I have, so.
It's all conservation related, though.
That's true.
Jess, updates?
The only other thing I learned from our town council session was that we can, when we vote to, well, I guess it wouldn't make sense for us, but when we vote to issue an order of conditions, we can technically close the public hearing right then.
In the same motion?
Yeah, and then then you sign at your next meeting, but that's just understood as just for administrative purposes.
Mhm.
So we can state that in the motion, if we ever,
Get to that again?
yeah.
So we'd have a motion to approve and close, or you're just saying,
Yeah, it would work, I mean, that makes sense for some other boards, but I'm not sure about us, because if we wanted to amend special conditions or something like
Mhm.
that, then that would be deliberating, so we would have closed the hearing, so we couldn't, if we wanted to at the next meeting or something. So we just keep on business as usual.
all right. Jen?
No.
Rich?
Nope.
I got nothing. All right.
Yeah, I guess I could get the old.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay?
8 sharp.